terminate somewhere, and a new chapter of life has to start. That's the way life is. So we reflect on what contributions the learned judge has made during his tenure in the Supreme Court, and as we stand here, we wish him well, that as life moves on, he will have other avenues which are fertile for him to make his mark, like shooting an eagle at the golf course, or perhaps going back to theater in some way or the other, and maybe setting up a new music society as he did in Guwahati. When a judge takes oath in the Supreme Court of India or in any court, what does that oath stand for and what does it mean? The oath is that we will uphold the Constitution and the laws. What does that mean? It means that if the laws are constitutional, we will uphold them. And if the laws are not constitutional, we'll uphold the Constitution. This is the constant conflict that goes on in the course of the functioning of a judge in the Supreme Court of India. And I can dare say that whenever I have gone to his court, he's always upheld the Constitution, if the laws are constitutional, and upheld the laws if they are constitutional. Thank you very much for being what you are. The second thing, because Archana has talked about all the judgments that Justice Rishikesh Roy has rendered, the second thing I want to say at this point in time is the enormous empathy that exudes from his personality. He's always smiling. He's seldom upset when court etiquettes are not followed, he's normally upset. But the kind of affection that he renders in the course of court proceedings and the wit and the humor with which he continues with court proceedings is something to be admired. And I'm reminded of the famous words, I think in Twelfth Night, when one of the lovers says, if music be the food of love, play on. Right? Now, what is music in that sense, and what is food of love in that sense? If you go to any art function, you go to a music function, you go to a function where there are sculptures, you listen to Begum Akhtar, you listen to Bhimsen Joshi, you will find that people of all hues and colors are all assembled there. And despite their different ideologies and despite their different ways of thought, despite their different vocations, but they're all together when it comes to art. Because art by itself is a uniting factor. Art is a humanizing factor. And Justice Roy, you have perfected that art. And I must pay you compliments for it. Through your pronouncements, Justice Roy, you have given concrete shape to the rule of law, ensuring the court's lasting allegiance to democracy across generations. Throughout your service as a judge, you have demonstrated a keen awareness of the importance of your constitutional role, discharging it with courage and clarity. You have shown exceptional decisiveness in fulfilling your judicial responsibilities. With some judges, we know that with the brief in their hand, they will instinctively do the right thing by all parties. You were one such judge, clear in thought and purpose, strong in fundamentals, and though ready to be convinced, always firm in your conclusions after giving a fair hearing to both parties. That is the kind of judge you were, and that is the kind of judge we want in the Supreme Court of India. You had the capacity, with your characteristic humor and gentle nudging, to help resolve decades of discord. As a lawyer, I always told my clients that we were in good hands and not likely to witness unexpected surprises from you. Justice Roy's profound perspicacity and infectious charisma emanates from his multifaceted interests, especially his strong love for the arts. I strongly believe that it is love for the arts that cultivates a sense of empathy and a deeper understanding of evolving social, political, and historical contexts, all of which are crucial characteristics for a complete judge. During the early years of your career, you were a rising star in the Guwahati High Court. Justice Roy was a legal correspondent of the Assam Tribune. He's always been a voracious reader and a great lover of theatre. His chamber juniors recounted that Justice Roy would often travel to Calcutta to watch a good play and return to Guwahati for court the next morning. It was on those days that Justice Roy performed his best in court, bringing the invigorating spirit of the stage to his advocacy. Justice Roy also had a strong passion for music, especially Western classical music. Amidst his busy legal career, he also founded the Guwahati Music Society in 2001 to patronize and promote a culture of appreciation for live music. This music society has hosted many talented musicians, such as the award-winning Shillong Chamber Choir and the acclaimed pianist from Nagaland, Nise Mirono, giving them an important platform to share their gifts with the world in the early stages of their musical careers. Justice Roy has always been an avid sports person, playing football and tennis, and this morning we were told also hockey, since his school days, and golf in the more recent years. With his wide-ranging interests, it is no wonder that Justice Roy can apply himself effortlessly to any subject matter before the court. His judgments demonstrate at their core an innate sense of justice, crafted from a rooted understanding of the human condition. As a judge, Justice Roy has penned several judgments. I won't mention all of them because Archana has also mentioned many. From constitutional, criminal, service, arbitration, tort, and environmental law. I've had the privilege of appearing before Justice Roy while he was serving as a judge of the Guwahati High Court in the midst of a political storm in the state of Arunachal Pradesh in Nabam Rebiya's case. On the 17th of December 2015, it was Justice Roy who, in the face of the decision of the governor to prepone the session of the House and call for a floor test, took timely action staying the proposed session. In his historical interim order, Justice Roy observed, and I quote, "The governor acts as a constitutional head, and therefore his decision to prepone the assembly session without advice of the Chief Minister and primarily on requisitions made by the opposition MLAs, taints the governor's order and renders it unworthy of the state's constitutional head. The governor, as the constitutional head, is expected to discharge his role with dispassion and within the constitutional framework. But the impugned steps taken by the state governor, which facilitated the political battle to move in certain direction in the tussle of power, reflects the non-neutral role of the constitutional head, and this is undermining the democratic process." Close quote. This astute analysis of Justice Roy proved to be prescient, and status quo was eventually restored by this court, and the erstwhile Chief Minister returned to office. That historic decision became the benchmark for many political legal battles in the decade that followed. Thank you very much for that, Justice Roy. There are several other judgments that I would like to quote, but time is short. I can say that Justice Roy, apart from being an astute decision maker, was also deeply committed to building public trust in judicial institutions and has constantly searched for ways to expand the reach of the justice delivery system, especially to those in the more neglected parts of our country in the Northeast. As the chairperson of the State Legal Service Committee, Justice Roy directed a film called Apne Ajnabi, which Rachna has talked about, and Shako or Bridge, an alternative dispute resolution. As lawyers, we like to imagine that we can read what a judge is thinking before even he says a word. But Justice Roy can beat even the best of us at this, for he has learnt Indian Sign Language. As chairperson of the Legal Services Committee, Justice Roy organized a camp at the Guwahati Medical Hospital for persons with hearing disabilities. Justice Roy learned sign language for this event and gave his welcome address and interacted with children present there, all in sign language. I wish I could say thank you very much in sign language to you now. This incident tells us about Justice Roy's inclusive spirit, his intelligence, his passion for justice more than any judgment. And I've referred to several judgments in my address. I'll give it to you. Justice Roy also authored the dissent in the 2021 Constitution Bench decision in the NM Global case, holding that arbitral clauses in unstamped agreements ought to be enforced, where he once again displayed his foresight with his dissent, soon forming the basis of 7 judges later overruling the earlier decision of the majority. Here I must say that Justice Roy is in good company, joining strong independent voices of his sister judges in penning persuasive dissenting opinions. Thank you very much for that. Justice Joy will be remembered for being articulate and your methodological approach to deciding cases. Even at the stage of issuing notice, you are known for always recording the contentions of parties and giving a succinct but reasoned decision. Your courtroom interactions are often peppered with anecdotes, wise quotations, stories from the classics, and your quintessential quips. Those who mistook your levity for laxity, however, were forced to pull their socks up, for you expected every lawyer to always put their best foot forward, just as you constantly did, both inside and outside the courtroom. I would end by reading a poem in your honor. I hope you like it. Good portly man, with pleasing looks, a cheerful eye. Real tough for us who shared your wit to say goodbye. The spirit that you often liked was portable, not denatured, the use of which reportable. Your old school charm, a stickler for court etiquette, those wantonly who breached the norm, sure to regret. Those who took Passovers, then sought a date, met with a timely glare that often sealed their fate. The cause with which you disagree, you tell us this, either you withdraw or be sure I will dismiss. When convinced, not hesitate to set at rest the injustice that you perceived is manifest. An evening of music, theater, invigorates the essence of being which in your veins pulsates. The cold print of the law has its own place. Beyond it thrives a world of culture full of grace. Your judge-like ways, your candor, perspicacity, pithy remarks display your wit and clarity. You are a judge, complete in every way, my friend. Good luck for years to come as this great inning ends. Thank you very much.